Okay, good morning. Well, I've got a very special guest with me today. Her name is Lecia. Is that how we pronounce your name, by the way? That's what I've been saying. But how do you say your name?
Lecia. Like
Lecia.
Alicia
Oh,
Keys, but without the A, so it's just Lecia.
it's Lecia. There we go. Lecia, a very warm welcome to this morning. Thanks so much for being here. So you are also a member of the Launch You community, and I'd love to just ask you a few questions, if that's okay, just to get a little bit of your background and your story about why you joined Launch You and how you found it so far. So
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
having
perhaps you
me.
could start by telling us. Yeah, when did you join? How long have you been here?
So we joined in July 2023,
Mhm.
and I had already been looking into online business for quite some time before that because I just realized there's no ways I'm going through all this again of being reliant on a job, customers walking through the door. There's so many different factors. And then, we had COVID and the one thing and the next. And I was just sick and tired of being vulnerable, really. And I spoke to my husband, Andrew, and I said, look, there's got to be another way. We've got to do online business. And, we kind of dabbled and tried to find our way and do it ourselves. And we just didn't know how to do this, really. And so I started to look into it. And I found a college here overseas in Ireland, sorry, where I am, offering courses. And the Irish government here are very kind in that they said, if you go and study, we'll give you a grant. You can go and study digital marketing. So I did that. And I did three courses, marketing, digital marketing, and and on e-commerce. And by the end of it all, I had no answers. I was more confused and lost and overwhelmed, and I just didn't know what was going on, honestly. It was all theory. You were basically given these PDF notes that you could flip through and then multiple choice kind of questions. And there was absolutely no practical information of how to start an online business. So I'd gone and done this, I think they call it QQ level 5 or something like that here. It's quite you can actually get a job here in Ireland with this qualification. And I thought, how do people work after learning this? Because this doesn't actually give you any idea what to do. And I was actually quite disappointed and quite frustrated, to be honest with you, because I'd spent all this time um, and really just wasn't any better off than what I had started. So one day I was, working away on the computer, upskilling, learning about AI art, and one of the members' adverts came up in front of me. And he was talking, and I thought, wow, it was the first time. He actually had a South African accent, so that tweaked my hearing. I was like, well, okay. And I thought, who's this guy and what's he on about? And living in Portugal, and things seem to be going pretty well for him. And he's talking about online business, and he's 65 and he's doing an online business. Wow, okay. And it really got my attention, and I jumped in, and he sent me the free video series, and I was just blown away. My husband came home that night. I said, that's it. I found it. I found the thing I've been looking for so long, the practical solution, and I was like over the moon excited. And so we immediately jumped in and got started with Launch You. And I haven't looked back. Honestly, it's the best thing ever.
Oh, that's amazing. What a wonderful story. So that's really interesting. So you already knew about online business and you had this sense that your future was in online business. What were you doing before? What was your kind of, background work history before that made you want to escape that and move into the online business world?
My husband and I came from South Africa, so we immigrated here and we had a culinary experience venue. And before that, I was in the health and wellness industry, both of which were highly affected by, in South Africa, we had something called load shedding. So you could sometimes not have power for up to 8 hours a day. And then there was also a lot of other issues in the country, which have really affected a traditional business. So a brick and mortar business, you're needing to pay rent, and the landlord doesn't really care if you don't have power or if you can't trade. They just want their money at the end of the month. So It was years and years of stress. I also previously worked in the corporate industry, and then, you've got bosses and people that you're answering to. And I was really just tired of being vulnerable. And, you know, if the power went out, I couldn't trade. Or if something went wonky with the financial industry, things went, wonky as well. And there was just always these external factors that were affecting my livelihood, my freedom, my ability to enjoy life. And I thought, no, there's got to be another way. And so, when we started seeing other people in the world doing this online thing, we were like curious, can we do this? And will this really free us? And to be honest with you, when I first got into it, I went into it with a traditional mindset, which you can't do.
Mm.
An online automated business is not the same thing as a traditional business. They are worlds apart. And so I went into it with this mindset of still trading time for money, really. And then when I realized through Launch You that you don't have to do that anymore. I remember that first weekend, Andrew and I were doing the Launchpad course. We just sat looking at each other and going, people do this? This is the thing? Like, you don't have to trade your time for money. It was such a light bulb moment for both of us. And I could just see for the first time in his eyes, which really warmed my heart, was there was hope for him. There was light at the end of the tunnel, because he's worked long, hard hours from the age of 15, and I also started working at the age of 15. So we've worked for a long time the traditional way, and it really wasn't working for us. We worked for it, and the system wasn't working for us, so we just decided there's got to be another way. So when we found Launch You, it was like, this is the way, this is the other way that we've been looking for. So honestly, just so grateful to have found it.
Uh, so what's it been like since you started? So you say that the thing that's different, that you found in Launch You was that the practical. It's not just the theory. It's not just you don't get a certificate at the end of it and say, "Woohoo, I've got a certificate. Now what? I'm going to go back to sweeping the streets again." So what's different about Launch You, in your experience compared to anything else you've done?
Compared to what I'd studied previously, it's completely different. And I don't even know the words to find it, because it's not just a business education. There's so much more to it. You can't put a value on the mentorship that you're getting. The mentorship is so crucial to being able to understand and really implement the steps that are given to you. And if you've got no one to ask for help, and these things are changing all the time, just think about when we were doing our YouTube challenge in 2023. The online platforms are changing all the time. So if you have mentors that are there to guide you through those steps and those changes, it just makes it so much easier. I could never do it without mentors. There's no ways. There's just no ways. And so, that's crucial. That's just so valuable. The community, having the community, and for someone who's a naturally sort of introverted person, and who, like I said, has been seen to be the independent one, I thought, no, like, I'll figure this out on my own, and I don't really need to reach out to others because I don't know where they're at, and I was hesitant to do that. And then my husband went through a lot of quite hectic health issues, and I thought, I have to step up. I have to come out from behind the curtain, like I was sort of like backstage, and step out of my comfort zone and connect with this community and ask them for help. So I was starting to feel really overwhelmed and very alone, because there's a lot of information. Let's face it, there's so much information out there. And the Launch You training is phenomenal. The quality of the information is fantastic. But at times, you just need to feel like you can connect with others that are on that journey with you, so that if you do come across a little something or a niggle, or you're not sure, and you just want to bounce it off of someone, the community honestly is so valuable. But you've got to be willing to embrace that. So that Launch You entire program is just such a holistic offer. It's, to me, so much more than just a business offer. It's really a holistic offer. And I don't think there's anything else like it out there, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's changed my life, all aspects of my life, not just my wealth, my money, and being self-employed now and being able to completely control my own diary, how much I work, where I work from, just working from a laptop. I've spent months in the Netherlands, I've worked from Portugal, I've worked from all over, and just, continue to run my business. And it's such a privilege. So what's been so you came in, so you knew a bit about digital marketing, for example. You'd done your certificate, you got your certificate.
Do nothing, but I've got my certificate. Just like a new learner driver, someone that's just got their driver's license but actually doesn't know how to drive.
Right. In the real world, with real traffic, with real people who don't follow the rules, for example. Yeah. So did you have in your mind when you started, did you have a vision of the kind of business you wanted to create or anything like that? Or was it more just about the lifestyle? What was your vision?
Okay, well, we were looking at starting our own personal brand, but we didn't know really how to do that. I dabbled with trying to build my own website. Oh my gosh, what a disaster, and so much time wasted, really, and so we have a vision of what we would like to develop as our personal brand. And so I started to develop the digital assets for that, like creating just graphics and courses and those sort of things. But we didn't really know much more about the opportunities that are available online. And so when we came in and we were exposed to all the different business models, it just blew our minds. The opportunity is endless. If you can imagine it, it can be done.
Mm.
And that's been the exciting part for us. It's been really amazing and just powerful stuff. It really is. So
So,
yeah.
yeah. And I can see just, you're just lighting up talking about it.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's what I see, so often with people in the community. Sometimes it's difficult to put your finger on what it is, because we come in here, like you say, you've come in here to start a business, start an online business.
Yeah.
But what's perhaps something else that you've gained from the experience you've had so far, that was a surprise to you?
I would say self-confidence was the
Mm.
thing for me. And, reaching out to someone like you, for example, no, it would have never happened before. I was always just like too nervous to do that. I'm used to really knowing what I'm good at in my field. And my field for over 25 years was health and wellness. So I was quite, au fait with the health and wellness industry. But when you're coming in completely new and you don't really know, and I mean, I'm 48 years old now. So it's like, you almost at a point where you think, shouldn't I know this stuff already? Can I really ask? Can I ask for help? And just having like-minded community out there of other entrepreneurs that are also starting fresh. They're starting new. There's kind of like a lot of people are starting over in their lives. They're doing something that they're actually passionate about, or that they've been wanting to do their whole lives but didn't think was actually an option. And, they're doing that now. And interacting with those people actually gives you the confidence to go, you know what, this is okay, and I can do this, and we're all in this together. And that's been quite surprising. I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting a how to build your business online kind of education, the steps, and off you go, But this has just been something so much more than that. For me, this has become a lifestyle, really, you know.
So how much do you work on your business? Tell us a bit about what a typical day looks like for you now,
Okay,
with
well,
your
we're still very much in the learning phase. So we went through a lot of the training. We got through the Launchpad training very quickly because we were just so excited by that. Every weekend, Andrew works every day during the week. And then every weekend, we literally Saturday, Sunday, all day. Every weekend, I don't know how many weekends it was. It took us about 6 weeks. And we got through the Launchpad training, and we just absolutely consumed we consumed that knowledge.
um,
It was just amazing, and worked through the workbooks. He printed them off, and we really sat and we worked quite in depth at a lot of that stuff, but I must say quite a lot of it has evolved and changed because we've evolved through this course and through this work. We've actually evolved as people. So we've dropped our scarcity mindset, we've dropped, and I didn't think I had one before. I didn't think I had a scarcity mindset. I've only realized, you know, through Launch You that I did. You know, when you start working on your ideal day, through the Best Life Blueprint, and all these added beneficial things to help you with your mindset coming into this. It's just been such a surprise and so mind-blowing, you know, and so we've kind of like changed as people. And I can't even remember what your question was. It's just like so much, you know. We've just benefited in every way possible. So my average day looks like we're still in the learning, sorry. You know, every day I get up and I do my bits. I'm doing the Fortopia challenge at the moment, so I get all of that stuff done. And then I sit and I actually work through a lot of training. I've got like books that I make notes, you know, and I've got my little group and we share little gold nuggets from trainings and stuff together. So I probably spend about 6 hours a day, I'd say minimum, you know, doing this. But I also have a son, so I've got to spend a bit of time with him, and he's homeschooled. He homeschools himself basically, but you know, he's also learned so much through Launch You. He gets exposed to it as well. So my average day is learning, implementing, taking a lot of imperfect action. Yeah, learning about YouTube ads, running YouTube ads, stopping YouTube ads, recording new ads, writing new scripts. I've just recently written 2 Google search review articles as well, and we launched one last night for the first time. So it's all these things. We're just wanting to implement these learnings so that we can really just get on our feet and start earning through our affiliate ambassador site, which is what we've started through Launch You, which is a huge opportunity for us because it gives us not only practical experience, but a chance to be able to earn as well. So yeah, that's exciting. And at the same time, we're learning about how to set up our own website and our own brand when we're ready to be able to do that, you know. So yeah, that's my average day, quite a lot of work. And then on the weekends, we generally do work together as well. It's usually about 3 hours on a Saturday and a couple on a Sunday too, but try to squeeze in a couple of other things, you know, just to get it creative, dance around the kitchen, cooking, and, you know, playing some games with the family, because you have to have sometimes just a bit of a disconnect as well. It's important, but we've been thriving on the information. It's just helping us so much that we want to do it. It doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like exciting, you know. So yeah, that's my average day.
Love it. I see a lot of people do that. It's you feel like you're doing something positive. You feel like you're doing something that's giving you, you know, you've got choice, you've got control over what you're doing, but you're building something for your own future to give you that future that you're what does your future look like? What would your, you know, when you've got your businesses running, your personal brand set up and all your digital assets working for you, what's life going to look like?
Oh, Andrew and I are probably going to be the oldest digital nomads that there are. Well, we definitely want to travel more. We were only married for 2 weeks before Andrew came out to Ireland to try and start a life over for us as a family. So we pretty much lost everything in our previous life. But that was our own stupidity and our own lack of knowledge, financial knowledge, and also working within the traditional model that is broken really in a lot of ways. So we came out here to start over, and that's literally what we're doing. And as soon as we've got our financial freedom, we want to travel more, we want to experience more of life. We're absolute foodies. We don't mind if we have to live in like Airbnbs, and because, you know, there's a lot of places in Europe that are actually quite a lot cheaper than living in Ireland. And we would love to just travel and experience being in South Africa. That wasn't really a possibility for us. It was heck of expensive to travel from South Africa to other areas of the world. And then I'm doing a road trip with a motorbike road trip with someone who I'm looking forward to getting geared for. So that's on my bucket list. And yeah, we want to experience life. We want to live. You know, we've worked so hard for so long, and we forgot how to live.
Mm.
and I want to live again. I want to feel alive. And so we're bringing that into our lives now. You know, you can't put off living until one day. Um, so every day, you know, we do things every day that are getting us in that swing of things, you know, and we love it. But it's going to be fantastic when the financial side of things is pretty much taking care of itself behind the scenes so that we can go on motorbike trips and go and explore more of life. That's what we'd love to do.
Amazing. Love that. Yes. And I'm looking forward to a motorbike trip with you.
Awesome. Would be
Because
amazing.
yeah, and I love what you're saying there because it so aligns with what I believe as well that life is now,
Yeah.
life is next year, 5 years, 10 years, putting stuff off for, one day I'm gonna get, I'll get round to that thing, and I don't know if you know much of my story, but my best friend passed away almost 6 years ago now, but she was only 53 when she died, and that woke me up. That was a real wake up moment because she and I talked a lot about, her bucket list, her thing, the thing we met when we were IT consultants, we worked for the same company, and I left that world, but she didn't. She stayed in it, and she was working so hard. And she kept saying, I just want to buy a house on the coast in the north of England, on the cliffs, and run
Oh,
a B&B. And that's all she wanted to do. She wanted to run a B&B, have lots of international. She loved people, spoke 6 languages. She just wanted a whole mix of international guests to come to the UK and show off the country. She was Dutch, but she loved England. And she just wanted to show off England and meet loads of people, decorate the house. She loved interior design. And I was like, amazing. I said, right, I'll come and I'm going to run motorbike photography tours around the area. I'm going to come and live in. That was my thing. Her brother was going to do the cooking. Her mum was going to be just sit and chat to the guests, and it was
oh,
going to be a family affair. And I kept saying, "Brilliant! When's it happening? When's it happening?"
mm,
And she would say, "I just need, I'm earning money now, and I just need another 5 years, to save up enough money, and then I'll make it happen." And I was like, "Okay, good. So, are you saving?" Yeah, I'm putting a bit aside. Yeah. Just 5 years, and then a year would go by. A year later, and I'd say to her, "So, when are we doing this? When are we doing this?" And she's like, "Oh, I just need another 5 years." And
yeah.
I was just like, "No, hang on a minute, you know, another 5 years, another 5 years." And then another year later, she was dead.
Wow.
And I was a bit like, we can't put off until tomorrow, you know,
No,
what we
no.
want to do. And
Yeah.
because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And what are we really she was going to, and I actually think it was, to be honest, the stress of her job that actually contributed to her
Absolutely.
death, and the trying to keep up with everything, the traveling she was doing, the deadline she was up against, and all the rest of it, trying to please everybody and do all that, and she was playing hard to an extent, but she was working damn hard, and never really got to do all the things in life that she wanted to do. So when I found this community, and I was just like, meeting other people who feel like there's more to life. Life is for doing all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and an online business is a fantastic way to achieve that. And so just
And
give you just to wrap up, just talk a little bit, if you can, about that shift for you and that mindset between the traditional way of, working or doing business versus the online way. What's been that light bulb for you?
well, the traditional way, you have to be there physically, or else you're not earning. Um, so it's so reliant on your time, your person. So while you're there earning, you can't be spending time with your kids. You can't be spending time doing what you love. You can't be motorbiking across the country. You can't be taking beautiful photographs, or you can't be out walking and doing those things that are about living and life. So traditional business literally keeps you in those four walls, in those brick and mortar four walls, and that's where your life exists. I mean, I just remember working, sometimes 17 hours a day. We would work. Eventually, my body just gave up, as well. Just I couldn't walk anymore, literally. And Andrew had 2 strokes. So literally, I hear what you're saying about uh, and we raised this way. I think it's kind of indoctrinated into us in a way, and I'm hoping this is shifting now in the world. Is we raised that if you work hard, you can like live someday in the future, and the shift from traditional to online automated, and I think the automated is the key. because online traditional is just you're behind a camera and you're still exchanging your time for money. That's just pointless. Um, if you go automated, you're free. You are free. And your asset is doing the work for you, which is your digital business. Your digital automated business is doing the work for you. And that's what assets are, you know. And so it's fantastic to know that there is that choice. We have the choice now to be able to choose this different path. And oh, it's so freeing. It's such a relief, you know, it's like a weight lifts off the shoulders. Because when you're in that traditional model, you can never get away on holiday. I mean, I've owned a couple of my own businesses. You are it. And everybody else is on holiday and you're sitting there waiting for a customer to walk through the door, or you know, everybody's walking in their slip flops and off to the beach, and you're going, oh gosh, okay, I've made a sale, but big whoop, you know. So what? Actually, it's actually really not all about the money at the end of the day. It's about freedom, you know. So yeah, if you can get your asset to do the work for you, which is your automated online business, then you have the freedom, and that's the beauty of it.
Yes. Wonderful. And if only, more people knew about this, but I don't know about you, but for me, the clincher was that it's, like you say, it's not just about the money. Even my business isn't about money. It's about helping people. It's about being of service and doing work that I believe in and I value and I feel is doing good, having a positive impact in the world. So, I'm killing two birds with one stone. Yes, I'm setting it up to be automated so that
Yes.
it can make me money,
Yeah,
while I'm off in my flip-flops on the beach or riding my motorbike. But at the same time, the work I'm putting out there is helping the world in some way, is not just selling, I'm not into the physical product so much, selling widgets and gadgets and putting more plastic into the world. For me, I love selling education products. That's my big thing, because we've both seen how beneficial education and knowledge can be, with the practical application of that as well. And that's when it becomes wisdom, and that's when we change the world.
it's transformative, and you're empowering people, and there's nothing better than that in the entire world, as far as I'm concerned, than empowering people to create a better future, and one in which they're happy in. More happy people equals a happier world.
Yeah.
So
Less ego, less strife, less,
yeah,
you know, less competition, more collaboration. That's one of the things,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love. So awesome. Oh, amazing. Love that, Lecia. Thank you so much. Any closing words before we close this up? Anything else you want to share before we wrap this up?
I would say, you know, if you're thinking of starting an online business, or you're wanting to find out more about learning how to do an online business, then definitely stop thinking about it and do it. Just do it, and do it with LaunchU, because honestly, I don't think there's anything else out there with regards to the level of education, community, mentorship. The entire program is complete and holistic, and you're going to get so much more out of it than you think you are. And it's going to change your life. And what better way to change your life than to live freely while your asset is doing the work for you? What more could you ask for, really? So do it.
And do it now.
Do that.
Don't wait, not till tomorrow, not 5 years.
No.
Yeah, who was it said? I can say, I don't think it was Tony Robbins, but the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So
Exactly.
yeah, start, and the rest will follow. Brilliant. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Lecia. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's wonderful to hear your story and
Thank
hear
you,
your
Caroline.
journey, and to see how much you've grown in yourself, and what that's doing for yourself, your family, and all the people that you touch. That energy is spreading throughout the world as well. So keep doing what you're doing, and keep being you. And we'll look forward to seeing you inside the community.
Awesome. Thanks, Caroline. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Right.
Okay.